The air hung heavy with the scent of chlorine and sunscreen. I could hear the distant laughter of children splashing in the hotel pool. As the hotel's engineer, I was surrounded by the hum of machinery, the reassuring rhythm of building systems working in perfect harmony. But that day, a different kind of call echoed through the hallway. A guest stood stranded, locked out of their room. Their face was a mask of panic. My toolkit, usually filled with wrenches and pliers, felt woefully inadequate. I had always been fascinated by the intricate mechanisms of locks, but my experience was limited to fixing a jammed door or two. I had a basic understanding of how tumblers and pins worked. But this felt different. This felt like a test. I could have easily called a professional locksmith. It would have been the easiest solution, the expected solution. But something inside me, a spark of curiosity perhaps, urged me to try. I borrowed a small toolkit from the maintenance room, my heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. It was time to face the lock. The lock on the door gleamed under the hallway lights, a silent guardian barring entry. It was a standard pin tumbler lock, but at that moment it felt like an impenetrable fortress. My hands, usually steady and sure with a wrench, trembled slightly as I held the tension wrench. I inserted it into the keyway, applying a gentle pressure, feeling for the binding point. My mind raced, trying to recall the basic principles of lockpicking. I knew I had to apply the right amount of tension, just enough to create a slight bind on the pins, but not too much to prevent them from setting. It was a delicate dance, a subtle interplay of pressure and finesse. Each click of the pins sent a jolt of adrenaline through me. Time seemed to stretch, each second feeling like an eternity. I could feel beads of sweat forming on my brow. The guest, though anxious, patiently watched, their silent hope adding to the pressure. With each passing moment, the weight of my inexperience pressed down on me. My fingers moved instinctively, manipulating the pick, feeling for the telltale feedback of each pin. The basic kit I had contained a few picks, a short hook, a half diamond, and a rake. I had read about them, seen them used in movies, but holding them in my hand, feeling the cold metal against my skin, brought a new level of reality to the task. Each pick had a specific purpose, a unique way of interacting with the pins within the lock. The hook, with its delicate curve, was meant for single pin picking, a slow and methodical approach. The rake, with its serrated edge, was designed for speed, raking across the pins in the hope of finding the right combination. I started with the rake, hoping for a quick win, but the lock held firm, its inner workings resisting my attempts. The sound of the rake scraping against the pins echoed in the hallway, a stark reminder of my lack of expertise. Frustration welled up inside me, but I pushed it down, reminding myself to be patient, to focus. Switching to the half-diamond pick, I decided to try a more finesse approach. I imagined the pins inside the cylinder, visualizing their different heights. With each click of the pick, I adjusted the tension on the wrench, feeling for the slightest give, the subtle signal of a pin setting. Minutes ticked by, each one marked by a mixture of hope and disappointment. Just when I was about to concede defeat, I felt it. A slight give, a barely perceptible click as one of the pins yielded to the pressure. A surge of triumph shot through me. I had felt it, that magical moment when a pin finds its sheer line. I held my breath, afraid to move, afraid to disturb the delicate balance I had achieved. With renewed focus, I continued to work on the remaining pins. The tension wrench became an extension of my hand, the pick an instrument of precision. Each click brought me closer to my goal. And then it happened. The lock yielded with a satisfying click. The door swung open, revealing the surprised but relieved face of the guest. A wave of euphoria washed over me. I had done it. I had picked my first lock. It wasn't just about opening the door, it was about overcoming a challenge, about pushing my own boundaries. That moment sparked something within me. It wasn't just about the mechanics of locks and keys, it was about the problem-solving aspect, the challenge of outsmarting a seemingly impenetrable mechanism. I was hooked. I wanted to learn more, to delve deeper into the world of locksmithing. The guest, overflowing with gratitude, offered me a generous tip, but it was the feeling of accomplishment, the satisfaction of using my skills to help someone, that truly resonated with me. That day, amidst the chlorine-scented air and the distant sounds of vacationers, I discovered a new passion. From that day forward, I devoured every book and article I could find on locksmithing. I practiced in my spare time, honing my skills on discarded locks. The more I learned, the more I realized the depth and breadth of the craft. It wasn't just about picking locks, it was about understanding the intricacies of different types of locks, mastering the art of key duplication, and even learning about electronic security systems. I enrolled in a professional locksmithing course, eager to formalize my knowledge. The course was challenging, demanding both theoretical understanding and practical dexterity. I learned about different types of lock mechanisms, from the simple pin tumbler to the more complex lever and wafer locks. Gradually, I transitioned from my role as a hotel engineer to a full-fledged locksmith. It wasn't always easy. There were long hours, challenging jobs, and the constant pressure to stay updated in a constantly evolving field. But with each lock I picked, each key I cut, each security system I installed, I felt a sense of purpose, a feeling that I had found my calling.